Hello, so this is a Year 5 project which was based on their class topic, the Victorians. I wanted the children to be hooked into their topic, so we did some immersive learning by visiting the Victorian Albert Museum in London to see a wonderful exhibition on Alice in Wonderland, which was a famous book written by Lewis Carroll in 1865. The students were then able to get to know who the Victorians were in terms of their tastes and interests. And it turns out that Victorians were obsessed with time, clocks, the extinct dodo, and many other weird and wonderful things, which actually features in the book Alice in Wonderland. The children then decided that they found the Victorian tastes of having odd taxidermy in their living rooms and fashioning them on their hats really interesting. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that 10-year-olds would want to take this pathway. And so after group discussions, this was the creative pathway, what we as a class chose to follow. The outcome being a picture of some sort of an odd taxidermy with the possibility of further learning and bringing it alive with sculpture. The children began their journey by researching Victorian tastes, and we went down a rabbit hole, rather like Alice did, of finding all sorts of odd-looking, grotesque taxidermy that the more affluent Victorians actually displayed in their living rooms, like the farcical mermaid. Victorians sold many odd-looking taxidermies and sold them in the pretense they had found real mermaids, when in fact it was like half a monkey and a fish. The students were introduced to the Surrealists, the founder being Andre Breton, and they believed in the power of the unconscious and dreams. So I asked all the children to close their eyes, listen to the meditative music, and think of some strange and wonderful dreams they might have had. Lots of ideas poured out, and some children attempted to draw them in their sketchbooks, either literally or drawing the feelings of the dream with patterns. So we learnt about other famous surrealists such as Dali, Max Ernst, Magritte Leonora Carrington, and spotted the animals they portrayed in their artwork. Children began their learning journey by trying out the techniques the surrealists used in order to free their mind, and to put it in a modern term, think out of the box. These being automatic drawing, Decalcomania, and Exquisite Corpse. This is an important lesson to teach children that not all art drawing is a process of pictorial development, drawing things accurately and realistically. However, the students need to be taught there are other ways to draw things, and that leads to more approaches to being creative, abstract, diverse, and non-literal forms of drawing. Exposing children to different experiences help develop their wider outlook of what art is and releases creative thinking. They experimented with automatic drawing, which is where surrealists practice to free their minds. My success criteria being just take your line for a walk, free your mind, listen to the music. You may also like to close your eyes and feel your way across the page. Here are some of the children's results. Closed eyes, drawing freely, listening to the music. The boy on the right was in fact new to the school and couldn't yet speak much English, but understood his task and happily expressed himself, making some wonderful detailed patterns. Here is another automatic drawing. I love the tonal value of the darker shading and added texture that different patterns make. Another technique they tried is called Decalcomania, a technique where you turn something into something recognisable. We spill ink and paint onto a page and then turned it into something unique and surreal. My top tips were to turn the page around a few times until you see an image, rather like looking at the clouds you see as an image. These ones were turned into what I thought looked like a Scottish terrier, to be precise, a dog, a jumping rabbit, a strange-looking squid with eyes poking out, and perhaps a creature from another planet. These ones are excellent. I see a flying fish on the right and some anteater, dragon animal. Who knows? Everyone saw something different. The Exquisite Corpse game. Well, this is a fun one which makes a great warm-up and puts everyone in a good mood. You fold the paper into 4, pass it around, then you open it up and reveal a surreal-looking person or robot. The students learned to observational draw in this pathway of learning. We were fortunate enough to have a box of interesting skulls, sheep skulls, badger, red deer, rat, pig, and so on. Not forgetting that Victorians loved skulls. My demonstration and success criteria being, I want to see their eyes looking up at their object frequently, not just guessing. Draw what you see. So here are a couple of keen students examining their cat and bird skulls. They absolutely loved this lesson as it was hands-on and exciting to see real skulls. It was proper observational drawing as opposed to copying from printouts. They could move the skull around to view and draw it from all angles. The viewfinders helped them focus in on a specific part, and if you just draw a section, the art takes on a surreal look where everybody has to guess which part of the skull is. To make some of the drawings more interesting, I got them to prep their paper with masking tape and tissue paper and draw on top with charcoal. It gave texture and colour to the drawing, made it look more interesting. Further along their journey, the children began to make their surreal taxidermy by making a collage out of 3 animals. They had to seamlessly join them together and be mindful of having opposite textures such as scales and fur, so when they come to draw it, they can practice the skills of drawing various textures, and it adds to the oddness of their taxidermy. They also had to go naming their invention. Meet the crowfish, half crow, croc and fish. I'm sure the Victorians would be proud of that one. Here we have a crocale with its Elvis quiff. So then the students were ready to draw their strange-looking creature, choosing their own mediums. We have the egote with a squirrel's tail. I love the charcoal wings. The crocodile. The rather strange fox, hedgehog, squirrel creature. A reptile. A cute-looking mouse, face, scaly fish with bushy tail thing. Children finished by reflecting on their creative process and outcome. It's an important time, reflecting time. It's good for them to practice answering and asking rhetorical questions, open-ended questions, and forming opinions on theirs and their other people's work. Further learning would be maybe to convert their 2D pictures into 3D sculptures, into plasticine, adding textures, or using recycled material and mod rock to mould their creatures. All in all, the children learnt an interesting aspect about the Victorians through art and practised many skills along their journey, as well as learning about an art movement called Surrealism and pivotal surrealist artists.